All right, players. So authorities just held a press conference where they gave an update on the tragedy that occurred at the Church of Jesus Christ in Latter-day Saints this morning. As previously reported, a gunman showed up at that church and opened fire after ramming his vehicle into the church. Now, thankfully, authorities were able to arrive on the scene fairly quickly, and in an exchange of gunfire, they were able to neutralize that suspect. But unfortunately, several victims were struck in weapon fire, and the church was set on fire, and authorities believe that this was done intentionally by that suspect. So authorities have identified the person responsible for this tragedy, and he is 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford of Burton, Michigan. Apparently, he served in the United States Marines from 2004 to 2008, and at some point he was in Iraq, according to reporting. Now, unfortunately, because of the current climate as well as this administration, one of the first things that people do whenever there's a tragedy like this is try to find out what the political beliefs of the person responsible. As of right now, there's reporting that he is a registered Republican. Now, unfortunately, 2 victims now are deceased after receiving injuries from this mass tragedy. There's also 7 victims that are currently hospitalized. Of course, here at the Black Grit News, I send my condolences out to the families of the people who had their lives stolen from them in this tragedy, and also wishing a speedy recovery for those 7 victims that are still hospitalized. So this is the second mass tragedy that has occurred this weekend. There was one in Southport, North Carolina, at a waterfront grill. I believe 3 people are deceased after that mass tragedy, and the person responsible is now in custody. And then we had the tragedy this morning at the church, and the person responsible is now deceased. They're both veterans. This is just so very sad. You all put your thoughts. This is Double D Mo for the Black Grit News.
That suspect is a 40-year-old male from the city of Burton, who we identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford. That's Thomas Jacob Sanford, S-A-N-F-O-R-D. Currently where we're at, an update, I gave you 10 victims who were victims of gunshot. Since then, we have 2 victims who are now deceased. One additional one had died at a local hospital. And again, that suspect is deceased as well.